Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome everyone to Dr. Carolyn Dean live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting humankind with universal love. And well, it's so appropriate because Dr. Dean is actually universal love. And she comes bearing gifts, the gifts of her heart, the gifts of her incredible wisdom, and her incredible experience of over 50 years as a naturopath, an MD, a medical researcher, a public figure, an advocate for public and consumer health, and one who is singularly committed to bringing you the most leading edge, state-of-the-art information that you need in order to experience total health. And that's health in body, health in mind, health in spirit, and to trust and know that your body has exactly what you need, that latent intelligence, when combined with those essential building blocks that include fresh air and sunshine, but also our very good friend, magnesium, and our other new essential nutrient products. I'm Ginny Sanders. I'll be your co-host this evening, along with the very dynamic and delightful Dr. Carolyn Dean, and we are here for you. We're here for your benefit, and we're here to answer your questions. We're here to talk to you live on the show tonight. We're going to tell you how to do that in a little bit. We're here in an archive. You may be listening to us 5 years from now, and we're still going to be here resonating and bringing the same information to you so that you know that you have what it needs. Not only that, but you are surrounded with a great cloud of witnesses, a great community of listeners and people who've made that same commitment to being their own truth in their body, to being responsible for their health, their vitality, their well-being, to doing the research, the groundwork to make sure they're making good decisions, and then to execute by consistently and faithfully every day making good choices. So that's what we're about. Dr. Dean is about it 100%, having been formally and thoroughly educated in every single means and mechanism you can for health, vitality, alternative medicine, everything from Chinese medicine all the way through to traditional allopathic pursuits. Dr. Dean really pretty much knows it all. And I hate to say that because it sounds kind of arrogant, but I've just been around her for years, and I know it's true because I've witnessed it myself. So I'm just going to say it. And we have our wonderful producer, Rachel, with us, and we have our delightful Dream Vision 7 Radio Network leader, Deborah, with us tonight. And we have Carolyn's husband, Bob, in the background, always executive producing the show from his perch of incredible knowing and wisdom and insight. And so we're all here and we're ready to go. Without further ado, let me just say this. This is not a medical advice show. We can't give medical advice, but what we will do is we will tell you what we would do if we were in your position. And of course, Dr. Dean has been in your position many times. She herself having to alleviate her own symptoms of magnesium deficiency through her own education, and then ultimately through her own formula development, and then ultimately bringing that out in the public and making the whole world literally aware of the dangers of magnesium mineral deficiency, what we'll be talking about tonight, and how to remedy that situation for yourself, and then hopefully your family and your community at large. So without further ado, we will bring her on to speak with you in her absolutely wonderful way, our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean.
And there are the children down in the backyard playing together, waiting for us to begin the show. And we should tell them and everybody else who's listening, the worst is over. Yep.
Mm.
You're here with us now. So it means the worst is over. Yeah. Who can come to a situation or just like a world, a whole new world where you can actually have hope that you will feel better. And I know hope has been banned from the language in medicine. You are not allowed to give false hope to people. I remember decades ago when you had to patients had to sign for I don't know, releasing the medical
Mm.
profession from any responsibility for killing you when they did a surgery or took the wrong limb off or whatever. You had to sign away your life. Yeah, and when that came in, things really shifted in medicine. Doctors began to think, well, if there's a 10%, 5% chance that what this person has is cancer, I better tell them.
Mm.
And so there was a lot of this outpouring of, well, you could have this, you could have that. And the doctors just didn't realize the psychology in a person's head when they hear some possible fatal disease that they have 5% percent chance of having. You don't hear the 5%. Your brain does not hear the percentage. You just hear the word.
Mm.
And that's where I started talking about medical PTSD,
Mm.
that doctors are responsible for causing patients to be in shock, to be in a situation in their mind and then in their physical body, which is a disease. But anyway, the worst is over because that's not what we do here. That is definitely not what we do here. Um, Housekeeping notes, we have a subscription service. We have a lot of bundles that we're putting together with a 15% discount if you do the bundle. And you don't have to get the prescription service with the bundle, but actually, if there are folks on chat now who are doing some of their formulas on the subscription service, if they could let us know how that's working for them, because what we want to do with our subscription service, which means every month you automatically get your products, we want to make sure people don't run out so that it's going to come regularly. I mean, that's what it's there for. We want you to refer your practitioners and use referral candy, which is another 15% discount. We want you to get your home blood test kit and do the testing for the 4 different components that we're most concerned about. The magnesium, which doesn't have a good test in standard medicine, so we do a whole blood RBC test. It's not as perfect as we'd like, and we're doing our university research to try to convince everybody in the research world that they need to change the magnesium testing. But the home blood test kit has a whole blood RBC magnesium, TSH for the thyroid, vitamin D test, and an omega-3 fatty acid test. So get your repeat test now. Actually, Bob and I are due for ours. And we have our magnesium deficiency survey that's still on our website, showing just the incredibly high levels of insomnia, anxiety, muscle cramps, heart palpitation, tension headaches and migraine headaches, and restless legs. And what I came across just the other day is a new paper, and this is my sidebar rant for today, Ginny. There's a study that just came out saying that long-term use of prescription sleep meds is unsupported by new data.
Mm.
And that's how they labeled this. But they did it in perimenopausal women. And that's what they often do. They'll sort of segregate one batch and you'll think, well, I'm not perimenopausal. I can keep taking my prescription meds. But these women were using prescription sleep meds for long periods of time, despite no evidence of efficacy, a new study shows. Quote, while there are good data that these medications improve sleep disturbances in the short term, few studies have examined whether they provide long-term benefits. And the quote continues, the current observational study does not support use of sleep medications over the long term, as there were no self-reported differences at 1 or 2 years of follow-up compared with sleep medication users with non-users. And some doctors said, I think this study supports what we all should know. Sleep aids are not meant to be used long term and should not be used for longer than 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So, how many people who take a sleeping medication know that they're only supposed to use them for 2 weeks? And of course, the study, the words, the article did not go into, well, what do people do now? And of course, what you do now is your remag, because remag and magnesium itself, you could say, the ones that people can take that don't cause a laxative effect, etc. But we know remag does not cause a laxative effect, so it's going to work quite well for people to get to the amount they need to help them with their sleep. Yeah, magnesium is a very important muscle relaxant. It calms the nervous system. It helps people get into a deep enough sleep so that they don't wake up with, with just moving in bed. You can wake yourself up if you aren't in a deep enough sleep, or if there's a little noise in the distance, you'll wake up if you're sleeping lightly. So isn't that incredible, Ginny? I mean, how many decades, probably a half century, people have been using sleep medications. And how many people, even on our chat, will tell us that, yes, they were on sleep meds for a long time and finally got off them when they began to take Remag. And there are side effects, including addiction for these sleep medications. So, it's good that they're doing these studies and reporting them, but it's long overdue.
All they have to do is actually talk to their patients, because we have a very precious man, our very good friend Creighton, Carolyn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know, did I tell you Creighton came to see me at the warehouse?
No, he was allowed to see you at the warehouse. I didn't think that was allowed.
Yes. It's a long story, but anyway, Creighton got addicted to benzos. He had no idea that Ambien was a benzodiazepine, and that he was very stressed out because he was building a house and the contractors and COVID and all the delays and everything. And he would sit up at night and kind of fume and muss about all that. And so he said, yeah, his naturopath told him to take Ambien.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine? And he got addicted. Yeah, addicted. And he had...
Wow. Even in the midst of using our products, he didn't think about taking extra Remag?
He did not think about taking extra Remag, and he just got all up in this stuff and never, reached out or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And he had a heck of a time getting off of it. Now, the Remag is actually what helped him get off of it. Mm-hmm. But he was very scared when he tried to stop taking them, and he couldn't.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that is a pretty, I had not shared with Ginny this study, but that is an incredible testimony right there. And it's very scary to think that, our people can, think that they've got such a bad problem, they need a medication, or that the naturopath would say, oh yeah, just take it. It's okay. Yeah. So that's why, again, we have such great customer service, so that people feel that they can get in touch with us. And if you'll notice our most recent email marketing for RNA Reset, at the bottom of every email, we say, get in touch with customer service if you have any questions. Because what we find invariably when people say, oh, well, I thought I'd be a lot better, and, why isn't this helping? I mean, I had the customer service will send me questions when it really needs my input. And this couple said that they weren't any better. And when I took their the questions we ask, how long, what are you doing, what else is going on? I mean, the number of medications and the number of illnesses that that this couple had meant that they were just not taking enough. That's what we find every day in customer service, that we just help people modify how much they're taking of our products, and even how they're taking it. Ginny tells the story of how she wasn't sipping her minerals through the day, and she had some symptoms, and she called the doctor, who is me, and I said, are you sipping through the day? And she wasn't. So we can get into maybe some extra stress or whatever that gives us some symptoms, and if we don't go back to square one, then we think things aren't working. I mean, look at this testimony that sort of speaks to what we're talking about right now. Ron is I'm certainly not going to give the last name, but he's one of the customers that talks to Julie. And this is his story. And Julie tells it. Ron's doctor would not do surgery on his hernia because his heart had irregular beats. He did 4 teaspoons of Remag for 2 years and 2 teaspoons of Remite. He called and emailed last week and said he was cleared for surgery and was so excited. Ron said, Julie is the best. I had my echocardiogram and my heart is normal. It took over 2 years, not 18 months, because that's what I say, how long it took me, 18 months. He said it took over 2 years, not 18 months, because I was not listening to Julie. And when I did listen, my healing was complete. All glory to Jesus Christ for healing me through Remag and Remite. So I went back to Julie, Ginny, and said, what was Ron doing wrong? And she said, Ron kept reducing his amounts of the minerals to save money. I kept encouraging him to stay at 4 teaspoons until he had the results he wanted. A very precious man. So, yeah, we do have to tell people, well, gosh, if you take it and put in a little extra money and get the products and take them in the right amount, then you'll save yourself so much time, money, worrying at the end of the journey. But it's hard for people. It's hard for people to predict the future. Let's say it that way. But we can help you predict the future because we know what has happened to thousands and thousands of our customers. We know the final result. So that's awesome. Awesome. Jenny, anything before I dive into the blog?
I would just say that I just also, we don't ever encourage people to abuse something, but I know that when people have a hardship, you always respond with generousness. So
right.
Nobody should not, especially if you have a health condition, should not take our formula because you think you can't afford it. You just need to talk to customer service,
right.
Especially like somebody like Julie. Doug's paid for people's.
I know.
He hasn't even asked you. He's just been like, I'm going to pay for this for you. And he just orders it and sends it to people. I mean, our team is nuts that way. So please, don't let that prevent you. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can help someone else with their care package, do that as well. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Pass it on. Very good. Okay, well, this is our basic message. We'll come back to this, all day and every day. The title of the blog you got in your email, or you can see it drcarolyndeanlive.com, is Magnesium and Minerals Kickstart Your Life. And we came up with that title because that you have all these Kickstarter things going on where you raise money for this and that and the next thing, but kickstart your own life with these minerals. And Ginny, she grabs text from various places. I don't know where she got these words, but it talks about how in med school I actually studied acupuncture as a second year elective. I mean, this is in the mid 70s, people. There were no acupuncturists. What happened is I found a Chinese anesthesiologist who coming from China, knew acupuncture, and he ran a free clinic, I think one afternoon a week, something like that. So I found out about him and went and hung out with him. It was amazing. And so I was into acupuncture right at the get-go. And then I read all the health books I could get my hands on after med school. And during my internship, I began my naturopathic training. So when I went into practice, I immediately incorporated acupuncture, herbal medicine, homeopathy, nutrition, and vitamin and mineral supplements. I was doing a lot of IV vitamins as well, just to kickstart people. Even before med school, I'd read everything I could about natural health. And back then you could. There weren't that many books. And now, after almost 50 years of study, I'm convinced that magnesium and mineral supplementation is the most valuable healing tool you can use. It's the easiest to implement, the most cost effective, and the most valuable for your health. But it depends on fully absorbed minerals having access to your cells. The vitamin mineral supplement industry is this is just a sidebar. It's huge. It is like billions and billions of dollars. And what's happened is a lot of things have gotten into the marketplace that aren't effective. They're not good quality. They don't pass any of the tests, a sniff test or the function test, and especially when we got hit by this virus, the supplement companies just went gonzo. They just bloomed out of the air because people wanted to support their immune systems. And I think there's a big kickback on that. The FDA and with the various sales outlets like Amazon, they're really cutting back on these companies. You do have to have your certificate of analysis and various things available if you're selling online. So the word supplement isn't going to help. You have to have supplements that are absorbed, and that's what we focus on. Going back to the text, magnesium and minerals charge us up and can help us feel better fast. Not only do minerals provide the necessary building blocks for the structure and function of the body, they are also required for the electrical conductivity that occurs between all cells. The electrical or energetic message that minerals send is created from very small amounts of minerals, but it results in a huge impact. The nervous system uses electrical energy to transmit messages as nerve impulses from one cell to another. The muscles are similarly activated to create all movement, large and small. Now, this is to say that you don't need really high amounts of minerals. See, that's what happened when allopathic doctors started to prescribe calcium. I don't know if they realized how poorly it was absorbed, but they prescribed horrendous amounts of calcium. Very little of it being absorbed, about 4%, which meant that calcium started to deposit in soft tissue in the body. And we get to the point where about 10, 15 years ago, a Dr. Boland, Bolland in New Zealand started to do studies, research on calcium used in women. Supplemental calcium in women will increase the rate of heart disease because the calcium builds up in the arteries and blocks the arteries. And then, out of that research, it showed how women build up calcification in their breasts, and that gets misdiagnosed as precancer. It's called DCIS. And women will get gallstones, kidney stones, heel spurs, and blocking of kidney arteries just because of this high dose calcium that's given to women. And the same can be said for other nutrients. If a little bit doesn't work, the allopathic and naturopathic doctors will prescribe more and more and more without realizing the problem is that they're not using well absorbed or natural substances. So, we've overcome all those problems with nutrients because we have in our mineral line stabilized ions of all these minerals. So you don't need high amounts. Our remite, people sometimes look at it, well, that's not much, but it's enough because it's so well absorbed. Now, Remag, we've had people say that on a quarter teaspoon, they start feeling better. So we know it's well absorbed in that way. But if a person is going to build up their magnesium stores and work with 80% of their known metabolic functions and 1,000 different enzyme systems, they're going to need a fair bit of magnesium. So that's one that we have alone and do recommend in fairly high doses. So continuing, according to Dr. Roderick McKinnon of the Rockefeller University, electrical signals have many roles to play in the body. So just remember what I said earlier, it's this electrical conductivity that occurs due to our minerals. The electrical signals control the heart rate, regulate hormones, transfer information from one cell to the next in the nervous and musculoskeletal systems. The end result is muscle movement, nerve firing, glandular secretion and excretion, temperature regulation, and even thought. The electricity in the body is very real. It can be measured by several medical instruments like the EKG and EEG. Those measurements are made possible due to the cells having what's known as a membrane potential, which is the difference in electricity between the inside and outside of the cell. The amount of this potential ranges from 70 to 90 millivolts. The cell membrane is a double layer of fat and protein. The fats insulate the membrane, and the proteins create ion channels to transport ions in and out of the cell. So that's where our picometer size minerals can just bounce right through those ion channels. The mineral ion pump and ion channels are compared to a set of batteries and resistors inserted in the membrane that creates a voltage difference between the two sides of the membrane. Now that's all kind of just complex words, but it's pretty important to know about the electrical energy of the body. And when people tell me about, oh, they've got this new mat, this energy mat, or this energy this or energy that, or that they do Reiki energy, anything to do with energy. If you don't have the right amount of minerals in your body, you cannot be receptive to any energy medicine. It's as simple as that. We've had that report many, 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 many times of people saying once they get their minerals in balance, these other systems seem to work better, even acupuncture. But then, they quickly say, but I really don't need those those therapies anymore because my minerals and my electrical conductivity and my energy is just fine without using an external, technique. I mean, even looking at energy, the Krebs cycle, which is the production of energy molecules in the mitochondria. The Krebs cycle has 8 steps, and 6 of those steps require magnesium. So your energy itself requires magnesium in order to be produced. And if you don't have minerals, what symptoms are we looking at? I mean, even for magnesium, I've got 65 conditions, but we just listed here the anxiety, blood pressure, chronic fatigue, dizziness, changes in appetite and body weight, confusion, difficulty concentrating, headaches, muscle weakness, aches or twitching, extreme thirst, insomnia, fever, heart palpitations, digestive issues, joint pain or numbness. And if you went to a doctor and said, I have all these things, they just wouldn't believe they're related to one set of problems. And just finishing off, if you suspect you have magnesium or mineral deficiency, the best course of action is a 2-pronged approach. Get immediate relief through an effective hydration, which includes sea salt and supplementation protocol. And then identify long-term strategy by assessing your current mineral levels and determining a suitable plan of remineralization. Now, in terms of assessing your current mineral levels, I really don't require that people do their hair mineral analysis or anything like that, because what I say is with our minerals, we are covering everything. And if you take our low dose remite and obviously low dose sea salt, then over time, your body is going to be working better, be using these minerals, and be storing the minerals that it doesn't immediately use. So you will slowly build up. Whereas, when I remember when I was in my internship in hospital, someone's blood electrolytes would come back showing low, whatever, calcium or chloride or sodium. And we'd whack them with this huge dose of that mineral. And then the next day they would be too high. So it taught me right, from the beginning that you just, slow and steady, just support the body with what it needs and low, slow doses, and the body will catch up. So that's our blog. And I do have half a dozen questions, Jenny, that relate to our topic. So what do you think? Do you want to stop and do the chat and some phone calls before we go there?
Let's announce how people can call into the show, which is to call through.
And Jenny will come to us any minute she realizes she has to turn off her mute button. Or maybe not.
Can you hear me now?
Rachel, am I still on?
I hear you. Yes,
Bob,
I hear
do you hear me
you.
on the show? Yeah, Bob says I'm on the show. So what I'll do is go to the questions. And this is a customer whose 86-year-old mother has no energy. And the daughter is asking which product would be most recommended for her 86-year-old mother who struggles with weight gain, no energy, memory loss, high blood pressure. And what I'd say there is probably the restructure protein powder to give her, a complete meal so that she's not just eating carbs, which people do eat to try to get energy, and then it leads to weight gain. And for the no energy, the Remag, memory loss, somewhat Remag, but also I would think about yeast overgrowth. I'd wonder if there was a yeast overgrowth problem, which there often is in elderly people. And so I'd say the Flora Revive, and the high blood pressure, the Remag. So restructure, Remag, and Flora Revive. I think that would be perfect. And the next one, another mother is saying, my daughter is playing hockey at her university, and many times she plays 2 games in a row. She says she has no energy, specifically no leg strength in the second game. I listened to your show about exercise and was wondering what would be the protocol for her. Please keep in mind, I cannot afford the entire set, and that's unfortunate. But she said, I assume Remite, Remag, and RNA drops, and how much of each. Well, yes, definitely the Remag for the energy, and we'd have to look at her diet if it's. But athletes tend to eat a good diet. So yeah, Remag and Remite. I don't know. The RNA drops, I mean, they're catalysts for people who have issues. I mean, they're good for everybody, but I'd rather maybe see Realign for the B vitamins. That will also give energy, and they're also good detox. And the next question, I'm suffering from depression, says this woman. I have extreme fatigue, always tired, no energy, and no feeling. I just want to sleep all day. I don't want to go out or see anyone. This is not like me. It's been 2 months. Had it before. Last time was about 9 months ago. Also, right after I gave birth, I had a manic episode or mental breakdown. My daughter will be 2 this month. I want to get well naturally and get to the root cause. And she lists things that she's been reading about. Doesn't know what to take or where to start. And yes, and it's after pregnancy. So postpartum tends to be low in zinc and low in the B vitamins. And a mother, just trying to cope and trying to sort of get everything done perfectly, without a lot of help. So I'd be looking at some Pico Zinc, Remag, and Remite. And if she doesn't want to eat, then the restructure would be in there as well. Another person, Ivy, is asking about low blood pressure, pulse 60 and under, bought a bottle of Remag, made it to a teaspoon a day and started really dragging, no energy. Took blood pressure, it was 108 over 71, pulse was 57. I have heart valve disease, hypothyroidism, and really struggle with my energy levels. Don't know how long this person was taking the 1 teaspoon, but it is a matter of also supporting the thyroid. So if the thyroid is causing the low energy, then we do have to put the Remite in there. With heart disease, I would put the potassium in there as well. So the potassium is going to help the Remag work better, and the Remite is definitely going to support the thyroid, because 9 minerals in Remite make thyroid hormones. And Ashley is saying, I just turned 50. I'm always tired. Doesn't matter if I sleep 13 hours or 7 hours. I never want to get out of bed when the alarm goes off. Sick and tired of being tired. I ate junk food and drank soda for far too many years and have never done a detox. I'm sure my body's drowning in bad stuff. My mom passed away this past July, and she was on dialysis, stage 4 renal failure. I didn't want to end up with renal failure. I'll do anything as long as I feel good. Can you help me? So that's going to be the Remag, Remite, because there's probably thyroid involved. Realign is our gentle detoxifier. So those three for sure. And for the kidneys, I mean, that tends to be calcification of the kidneys. So the Remag is going to help there. I know I tend to give, like advice about three formulas to start people off, but certainly all the formulas are going to help all these people. But just to start off, to get the energy back, get the sleep back, I'm starting with the three formulas. And Sandy here is saying, I pulled a muscle in my leg. I'm tired. My doctor says I've lost collagen in my hip, which causes a pull in the muscle. I've been using Remag for a year with some results, taking 1 teaspoon a day. Now, of course, that's not enough to deal with, a big problem. Also using Remide 1/2 teaspoon a day, not enough. It should be 1.5 teaspoons. Is there something else I can use to build up my collagen on bone? I'm also using vitamin D3, C, and B from you. Would appreciate any help. Well, this is a matter of dosage right here. And our vitamin C, both of them are necessary to build up collagen, but it's about dosing, 3 teaspoons of Remag, 1.5 teaspoons of Remite, D3K2, get your levels, blood levels, and try to get yourself around 50 or 60 of the nanograms per milliliter. And the vitamin C, the whole C reset, which is the food-based vitamin C, 2 a day, and a scoop or 2 a day of the vitamin C berry powder, and the B's, the Realign, 2 a day. So that's the gist of it. And I'm going to text Jenny and say, are you on?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Yay. I got everything done.
Yay. Okay, very good. Well, that means we're just getting started. When Carolyn gets everything done, that means we're just getting started. No getting off easy for her. Now, let me remind you to call into the show. And of course, I know everybody wants to do that. 646-558-8657. And then you use the ID that's on the screen, 8836953587. And when I say on the screen, you can see that on the Dream Vision 7 Radio Network page. You can see that on our YouTube page. You can see it on your screen where we make our email announcements. If you're on the phone right now, please hit *9 to raise your hand and let us know you do have a question or comment so we can connect you with Dr. Dean. Area code 916, just raising the hand. So I do register that. And then we'll bring you on. Area code 408, raising their hand. We will bring you on in just a second. I want to share a couple comments that are on our YouTube chat line. And let me just remind you, if you are on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button right there to get the notifications to remind you about the radio show and other announcements that we may send to you through YouTube. So let me just say a couple things. First of all, our most precious and most lovely Elma from Kuwait, she said, Dr. Dean, I want you to know that, where does she say? That your Remag helps me a lot after I've been taking all your products. Now I am okay. And it's a tremendous commitment Elma's made to have the product shipped to Kuwait. It's not inexpensive. DHL is very expensive to get there with all this COVID business, but she's committed. And
Wow.
she also shares them with her husband. So we really thank you, Elma, for doing that and for being part of our audience and also for taking care of your health. It's wonderful. So thank you for sharing those words.
Yes, thank you, Alma. That is wonderful. Big hugs from us to you.
Yes, absolutely. And New Earth Television, our friends at New Earth Television said, I had blood tests done by a doctor last week. I haven't seen normal test results in a while until now. Thank you, Dr. Dean, for such great products. So that is a major celebration.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Very good. Yes, and look at this. I just went to the next testimonial in line here, and it's another muscle leg problem that like I mentioned above with Sandy. Julie reported that Sally just called to discuss her formulas. She said she had arthritis in her left hip bone. It made the thigh muscle weak and kept yanking her back out and getting her off balance. Sometimes it would yank her to the ground.
Mm,
She is 80 and was walking with a
mm,
cane. A year and a half of taking Remag, Realign, and sometimes Remite. She's without a cane and took her
mm.
handicap parking sticker off. Those are her
Wow.
words. I told her about the 80 plus club and welcomed her to it. Isn't that so sweet?
Wow. That is
Yeah.
awesome. That is
Yeah.
very, very awesome. How cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tossing out that handicap sticker is great,
Mm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not just
Uh,
the whole situation with the body recovering, but her mind is recovered. She's not identifying with being handicapped.
yeah. I know people who they love their handicap sticker and they don't realize that it's become a crutch. So she threw away two crutches, her cane and her handicap parking sticker.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very good. Excellent. Because identity, it's a big thing. Okay. Liberty Ninja says, I love the show tonight. Any information on lupus? I have a friend who I gave Remag and Remite to. It's been years since she was diagnosed. She copes with it. She does use natural product, but goes through the ups and downs. It impacts her physically and emotionally. She's such an amazing person and friend. I don't know all the details about her health issues. I just want to see if I could give her some more information or help.
Well, lupus is one of those autoimmune conditions. So I put the, kind of a 50-50 of mineral deficiencies. So that's the Remag, Remite, and probably some Pico Silver and Pico Zinc in there as well, but 50% yeast overgrowth. So that's our Flora Revive and Pico Silver to balance out the intestinal organisms because when you have an excess of yeast, then the die-off products of the yeast are just in their normal life cycle. There's 178 different toxic products that are produced that will flood the body from head to toe, causing all kinds of symptoms, including rashes. So yes, we've had success with remineralization and balancing out the yeast overgrowth.
And Carolyn, I remember, I think one of the best webinars you ever did, to my mind, is lowering your infectious load.
Mm,
And I remember what you said in that webinar that people have this little sublayer of um,
mm,
viral load underneath the surface of their being, so to speak. And it's got like a little pig pen thing. It trails around with everybody. And if you use Pico Silver on a regular basis, you can really start to clear some of that out. And that I think also has a lot to do with
mhm,
people's energy, because I know Julie and I both had a tremendous experience when we first got that Pico Silver. I felt like I
mm,
was high for like 3 weeks, just
mm.
getting rid of some of that ick.
Mhm. And also, I mean, I do tend to forget about the RNA drops and RNA reset drops and don't tell people right out of the chute to get them. But it was our first product and we had incredible results. And when I think of the radish experiment and how the radishes that grew in the RNA drops barley waste product, the probiotic nature of it, the life force nature, it allowed the radishes to really be alive and they weren't attacked by pathogens. And so the same is for our RNA reset drops that we take by mouth or the Renew cream that we put on our skin. It does help stimulate our life force. It's a catalyst. And so people who have these autoimmune diseases, and they're often on a lot of medications too, which can, sort of, the side effects are sort of wrapped up with the effects of the illness. So the RNA drops are for the life force. So realign is important for people who are on any sort of medication to help detoxify the medication. I don't think I've said that enough, Ginny, that if you're on a medication, you should be on realign. What do you think of that?
I agree, because it's like a big hug for the liver, and you've got to have that protection in your liver and in your kidneys, which realign does with that precursor to the glutathione and with the methionine, and also the lysine, so valuable. The taurine is so valuable for the heart muscle and just for mitochondria in general. So I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, let's take some phone calls. We're going to go to our very good friends in 916. I sent you the little unmute button, *6 to unmute your phone, area code 916. And we'll put you on with Dr. Dean. Area code 916. I sent you the little unmute button, and you've got to hit *6 on your phone to unmute and then come on the line with Dr. Dean. There you are, love. Welcome, welcome. Give us your name and then share your comment, please, with Dr. Dean. Hello? Well, your phone's not on mute anymore, but maybe we can't hear you speaking.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now yes. We can. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kathy, and I'm working on how to unmute myself.
Well, you did a good job so far. We can hear you. This is wonderful.
Thank you. I'm a new convert, and I'm just thrilled to have your products. And I've been prescribed by a naturopathic doctor. I was taking, prior to Remag and the Remite, I was taking zinc citrate and also magnesium in pill form from a reputable supplemental company. But what do I do with all my bottles of old pills? My old supplements, can I continue to take them while I'm taking Remag and Remite until I've used them up? Will they just pass through my system?
Well, they're obviously going to be some benefit. What we say, Kathy, is because we tell people to start slow, low and slow. It should take a person, a month or so to get up to the 2.5 teaspoons of Remag, and the Remite, it goes a little faster because we only go up to 1.5 teaspoons. So we tell people to take both of them for the first while.
Okay.
I don't know how many you have left in your bottle. I hate waste, but in the beginning, we tell people to take both. And if a person is on medication, we never tell them to stop their medication. But it's what may happen with the magnesium is, as the Remag builds up and you don't need the laxative effect from the Remag pills, because that's what they will do. If you have too much of a magnesium pill, it could cause some laxative effect. So that's when you would just quit the magnesium pills.
And what about the zinc?
Well, yeah, zinc is not really that well absorbed in any of its compound forms. What you could do there is just hold on to it, and heaven forbid, if you get a cold or a sore throat or whatever, just take the extra zinc by taking your zinc citrate, or you have it around to give to somebody if they need some supplements.
Okay, that's wonderful. I have one more question,
Mm-hmm.
and that is I have several herbal tinctures that are
Mm-hmm.
in alcohol. Is it all
Mm-hmm.
right if I take those in addition to the Remag and the Remite? Will there be any type of conflict? They're drops, sublingual drops.
No conflict at all. I mean, our products are like taking food. There's never been any interaction. And, you know, you'll have to discern whether or not when you take the herbal tinctures, you feel better. You know, what we find from people is after, you know, a few weeks, a month or so on the Remag and the Remite, they feel better than they have before on their other products. So again, if you're just trying to not waste them, then go ahead and finish them up.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm really thrilled.
Okay, and yeah, keep calling back or call customer service if you have any questions at all. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, Kathy. Welcome,
Bye-bye.
welcome to the family.
Okay, excellent. Carolyn, speaking of questions, I just want to remind our listeners and those who are listening to the archives, if you have any questions about anything you hear on the show, you need clarification, or you want to expand the conversation, please email questions, questions, questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com, and Melody Rose will help you. She answers all of our radio show questions, and she's a faithful correspondent with our very own Dr. Dean. And if you need to talk to Dr. Dean, she'll get you through. So she's got that part covered. So again, if you need any clarification on what you heard or want to contribute in any way, please use that email to correspond with the radio show staff. All right, very good. Let's see. I don't want to get started with our very own 408 area code call. We're coming up to the top of the hour. Do you have something you want to add, Carolyn, for the next minute or so?
Yes, let me go through this testimonial. There's a lot of words here. I'll probably jump over some of them, but you know, one of our longtime customers identifies as MC. This past March 2nd, 2021 marked 8 years since I began with your RNA drops. See, that was our first one. And Remite. Within a few months, Remag was added to the mix, and then after a year or so, Realign. I have not been without these products since. It's accurate, although understated, to say that I physically feel flexible and strong like I remember feeling during a particularly good period in my late 20s. I did not feel so bouncy 15 years later. So it's 8 years on, and they're feeling like they're in their 20s. And she talks about over the years, I mean, it's reminiscent of what we all went through trying to grow some organic foods and juicing and doing all that stuff. And then she's saying that was a lot of work, a lot of foraging and processing. And although I still enjoy these things, the Remag and Remite combination renders it all obsolete. These two complements in the sea salted water work brilliantly. So, I mean, that's just fantastic that people are getting younger as time goes on. And she says, or he, mentally, I feel less pressured or angered by ridiculous, disturbing situations, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a really wonderful report of just people going along, getting better and better every day in every way. I'm getting better and better. So it's at the top of the hour, so we'll be back shortly.
Very good.
hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. And we're so thrilled that you're with us in this hour. Now, a lot of our listeners say hour 2 is the best hour because we go pretty crazy with all of our phone calls, and Dr. Dean just lets it rip tater chips. So we'll have to see. We will have to see how it goes. But what we know is we would love for you to call into the show and talk with Dr. Dean if you are so inclined. And that number 646-558-8657. And then that ID 8836953587. And then once you come in, you've got to hit *9. *9 will raise your hand and let us know you have a question or comment. Right now, we're going to go to area code 408. Welcome back, Carolyn. Are you ready?
I am, but let me, if you don't mind, Jenny,
Sure.
let me just finish that testimonial because just so it flows.
Okay.
MC continues. Another thing I've noticed is around my joints, connecting tissues and tendons feel stronger. My bones feel stronger. I think it's a synergistic effect from using many of the formulas, particularly the minerals, the drops, restructure, and probably the D3K2. This is a very nice sensation to live with. Very nice indeed. I tried most of the products. I would recommend any of them to anyone. I love the restructure and the vitamin C reset drink powder, Reline, whole seed, D3K2. The Renew Skin Serum was a wonderful experience. One bottle lasted a long time. Pico Zinc, Pico Silver, Pico Potassium are essential and in use daily. These products will be very important food for anyone trying to live through what we're starting to go through right now. Of course, they already are very important to me, the single best investment I've ever made. And I just wanted to put, finish off her testimony because she's talking about using all of them. And we were talking about that today, Ginny and me in a group meeting. And I do find they're all important. I take all the formulas and, I know they have a cost to them, but hopefully our customers feel the cost is worth it because it gives them back their life force and their health. What do you say to that, Ginny?
Sorry, I was on mute. I agree completely. I mean, we've built it over time. So for us, we're probably more like frogs in a pot. We've just gotten used to, new formula type of a thing as we filled out the complement formulas, which we announced in 2010, I think was the very first time we ever said complement formulas. And we started, we put it on our labels and we announced that we were going to have a complete line of things that would actually complete your cellular structure and provide you with that complete wholeness. So I'm sure when you first encounter it, to see the vast resource that we've developed, it could be a little overwhelming, but we do want people to come to it as we have, which is start with the foundational products. The first, of course, being Remag, the RNA drops, Realign, and then go in and add and add and add. Now, what we've also found, especially from our wonderful callers like the gal who called the last hour, a lot of people are already taking dietary supplement formulas. They're just taking ones that are ineffective. And the way they know that is they are still searching. Like, I don't know, Carolyn, you've been married for 50 years. I've been married for a couple minutes. I quit looking for a husband when I found the one I have. I mean, I'm not out there looking. So if you don't feel good and you're still looking, then that's an indication that what you're using probably isn't working. And so then, people do encounter us, and that's one of the first things that pop up is, what am I supposed to do with the old stuff I have?
Yeah.
And so that's, that whole process of grafting in the new and releasing the old, and the way that people know is usually because of the energy. They just get such a whack of incredible energy when they start using our products, and then they just, again, keep bringing on more and more. So we all feel the same way. Every single person on our team uses all of our products, and they get on board with the same thing. They just gradually start to bring them all in.
Right. When you're feeling good, you want to feel better. It's like you're feeling good, but ready for more. And you don't know how much more better you can feel. And I was just looking at our RNAreset.com store site, and we do have bundles of products. Actually, it just came in our supported RNA Reset email marketing. Brian put out a matter of taste, and he puts together, looks like the 16-ounce Remag and the vitamin C Reset mixed berry powder. And that has been wonderful for people who still haven't gotten used to the taste of Remag. I know Rachel, our producer, was saying she's drinking it like it's a fine wine now, and the taste is good, good to her. But some people, they in the beginning, they just pushed aside the Remag and said, in effect, I'd rather die than put up with that taste. So we bundled it for a discount with our vitamin C Reset berry powder that's going to do wonderful things for you all by itself. But together, they make it easier for people to take the minerals. Roseanne, she has a testimonial at the bottom of that marketing email and says, I absolutely love vitamin C Reset. I mix my vitamin C Reset powder in water with my Remag, Pico Zinc, Pico Potassium, and Remite. This fizzy drink has become my coffee first thing in the morning to recharge my cells for the rest of the day. So that's how people are using the vitamin Reset powder. Of course, I'm gulping mine throughout the day. I don't just take all my minerals at once, but we keep reminding people of that. So yes, we're bundling things for you and making it easier and easier for you to take our formulas and to get healthy.
Absolutely. And you do get to the point, Carolyn, and I know you've also said that, just, also something to look forward to is that you don't eat as much.
Oh gosh, yes. I only need one meal a day. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I'm going to have, when you come over here, Ginny, you and Greg, I won't eat all day, and I'll go out and we'll have dinner. It'll be too much.
Yeah. You'd get used to not your body, the efficiency of getting all those really high quality assets nutritionally. And again, when you combine it with that lifestyle, you've got to get your fresh air. But what we know is that if you don't feel good, you're not going to get up and go outside and go for a walk and put your face in the sun and do all the connect with nature and all those other kinds of things that really help rejuvenate you. You're just going to be frustrated and languish and everything. So that's another thing I love about our products is they give you that boost and that push. You start to think, I do feel a little better. I'm not creaking as much. And then you start to get out there, and pretty soon the next thing you know, you're really back to living the way you want to.
Yeah, look at this 34-year-old. A man from Malaysia wrote on Instagram, thanks a lot, doctor. You literally saved my life, where my whole life I had brain fog, bone aches, muscle cramps. I couldn't function since I'm 14 to now where I'm 34 until I found out about Remag. It's a miracle. It's life-changing. You saved my life. Finally, I can work. I went out from depression. I'm back to life. Thank you. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Awesome. All right. Well, let's just take a phone call, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. Let's go to the area code 408. I happen to know from my time in California that is a Bay Area area code, but I don't know if you're in the Bay Area because phone area codes don't mean anything like they
don't. My cell phone is 347, which is New York. So I freak people out all the time.
Welcome 408 to the show. You could give us your name and then state your question or comment. That'd be great.
Hello, my name is Bob. And
hey, Bob. Go ahead.
I'm starting to use the products about 7 or 8 weeks ago, and I'm one of the main reoccurring problems is loose stool and gas.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering about a week ago, I started getting other symptoms. I have asthma and congestion and difficult sleeping. So I stopped taking about a week ago, and I still have diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Well,
products are
yeah.
most likely to diarrhea? Should I cut back on something?
Have you phoned up customer service to talk about this, Bob?
Not yet.
Right. Because I don't know how much we could go into it, because I'd need a lot of information in terms of what's going on, because a person can start with sort of a bit of IBS or bowel problems, and then when you take magnesium, it can make things a bit loose, and it's almost like a detoxification. Or there can be yeast overgrowth where the intestines, there's a bit of leaky gut and there's irritation. And then when you start taking the products, there can be some diarrhea. So there can be, several things going on. And if it were just, you've taken too much, we tell people to take psyllium seed powder to help bind up the extra liquid. But if a person, if they're just getting these symptoms in the beginning, it's more like a detoxification. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but I'd rather do it, properly, getting you to email into customer service so that we can send you our questionnaire to ask you all the relevant questions so that we can go about this the right way. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that was wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Carolyn Dean.
You're welcome. So the email to write, Bob, is support. Shall we do support or straight to Melody Rose, Ginny?
Yeah, just go to Melody Rose, I think, love.
Yeah, so that's questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com. We should get a shorter email, Ginny. So questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com, and say you were on the show. Carolyn wanted you to have what we call the tier 2, TIER 2 questions, so that we can address things, more efficiently.
Yeah, about half an hour ago, I did submit email with more details of the frequency that I'm taking the medication, and I haven't heard back from them. So will I get a phone call or email, or we don't know?
Ginny?
Well, when you send your email to Melody Rose, explain the follow-up situation, she will have heard the radio show. She'll know how to move forward, and she'll take it from there. So she won't probably call you, but she will correspond with you by email until you've got all your questions answered.
So what you wrote into the, general customer service, redirect that email to support at drcarolyndeanlive.com.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, well, we got your back.
Thank you.
Okay, Bob. Bye-bye. I've got a Bob too,
Goodbye.
Bob. I've got a Bob too. I do.
There's lots of.
I know. There are. And they're all wonderful. That's my experience. So take care. We'll be in touch.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye, love. Okay, lines are open. Area code 646-558-8657. And again, ID 8836953587. And if you're on the line, you've got to hit *9 to raise your hand. and let us know you want to talk to Dr. Dean, because right now I don't have anybody asking to talk to Dr. Dean, and that is just so rare and random. There must be some kind of an error going on here. So again, *9 to talk with Dr. Dean tonight. We'll put you on the phone with her. What shall we talk about now, Carolyn?
One last testimonial, and let's talk about Remag lotion, shall we?
Okay, yes, we shall.
Okay. So last testimonial. Margaret says that the Remag is working great for her. She says she was on a pill form before and wasn't sure it was doing anything. She switched over and her legs are feeling better, and she finds that she's sleeping without waking up in the middle of the night. So that's awesome. As soon as you're sleeping better, everything improves, because that's when the body regenerates. It's just so necessary to have good sleep. And we started out today by talking about the sleep study where they said, well, sleep meds aren't going to help you any. If you take them longer than you're supposed to, they just become addictive. So it is very important that we keep reminding people that the Remag is very important for sort of the leg twitching that keeps people from sleeping, or the fact that people are light sleepers if they're magnesium deficient. So tell us about Remag lotion, Jenny.
Okay, I will love to do that. And I will also say that we've got a couple hands raised now at this station. So I did see callers come in, area code 562 and 937. We're going to put you on the line with Dr. Dean as soon as we say this thing. Yay! No, I actually opened up the box today and just about fell out in my kitchen that I actually had it in my hand after all this time. But it's really great. You're going to be happy because it's not in a pump or in a tube or anything. It's in a nice little jar where you can just tap your little fingers in there and get just the amount that you want to put on your skin. And I was getting very excited doing kicks in the pool this morning, and I kicked out my hip, and I thought, oh, I got to throw some Remag on that. And then of course I got busy and forgot. So when it came, boy, I threw that stuff on my hip and it was over and out, just, gone in a few minutes. So I think the main thing about the Remag lotion, of course, it's unscented, which a lot of customers love. It's a very thick, and I can tell you it's strong. You're not going to have to use a lot. I mean, it's powerful. I could just feel it on my body. And I think everybody's just going to absolutely love it. So it's physically in my hand with the label on it. It's at the testing lab right now, just confirming everything. It will ship to us, and we will put it on the website the minute we can, and it will be available. And as we allowed our radio show audience, all of our very good peeps, including Alan and Patrick and Marie and Elma and Sherry and everybody who chitty chats with us every week, they all decided on behalf of the whole wide world that we were going to limit it to 2 jars per person on the first round until we can get it out. We want everybody to test it. We want to get good feedback before we place our permanently huge regular orders that we usually place, where they truck it in by the big truckfuls. So we just want to really test it with our existing customer base and make sure we've got our triple thumbs up. So that's our plan. That's what we're doing. You guys are the first to know. It is real. It's no longer a dream. It was right there in my hands, and now it's on my hips, and it's very exciting.
And, we're not talking about that. We ordered 100. I mean, we have 2 pallets of this stuff. If the picture they sent us is true. So yes, you're going to get your Remag. We don't want people fighting about this, but we didn't want to order, 20, 40,000 without making sure that this was as stable as could be. And the jar, I think the jar's an upgrade because a lot of people were concerned because they were leaving a couple of teaspoons of Remag lotion in the bottom of their bottles. And we would tell them, oh, pour in some Remag liquid and shake it up and then use that. So it was a bit of bother. So we'll see if we'll stay with the jars. The jars became necessary because with all the COVID making ridiculous alcohol hand sanitizers, they used up all the bottles. Or what they did is all the bottle equipment went to making bottles for hand sanitizers. So we had to move to jars.
Yeah.
So,
But I think it's going to be good. I like it. I like it a
Mhm.
lot, actually. I
Right.
think I think it's cool.
And as for sticking your fingers in, of course, you're going to put clean fingers in, but our Remag is self-preserving. It is so much a preservative. If you've noticed in our Remag solution, there's no added preservative. We passed the FDA tests that allow us to say Remag is self-preserving. So the same goes for the Remag lotion.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we've got area code 731-937 and 562. I see all of you and I know you're there. I just want to get to Deb because she's chatting in on YouTube and I know she's new to the show. And I want to just say, so she's asked a question and it made me so feeling like back in the customer service days. I just got a little nostalgic for answering this question, but she said, I've been on Remag for 7 months and my RBC is the lowest level it's been. And I continue to have a laxative effect. Can anybody please help me with this? And I know exactly what that feels like. She said she's taking 1.5 teaspoons a day. She's putting some on her skin and she had to build up to that very slowly. And I did ask her if she was taking vitamin D because we know how that can drag it down. And she said, no, she's not taking it at this point. So Carolyn, thoughts for our dear friend Deb, who's trying so hard and she wants her levels to go up.
Right. And we don't know much more. Everybody knows what you just heard from Ginny. I would say to add the potassium, add the pico potassium. If the RBC is not going up, then it means, well, maybe not taking enough, but then the laxative effect is going to keep Deb from taking more. So in order to make the Remag better absorbed and better utilized, you add the pico potassium. You know, if Deb has any heart problems, then that definitely pico potassium is important. And as for the laxative effect, we get people to do our psyllium seed powder to help just absorb some of the liquid that kind of helps to flush out the magnesium. Of course, you have to be sipping through the day and not take it all at once or in shots. So there's all that to be done. And you can re-listen to the archives if you've missed some of that, Deb, but there's a lot to be done. And of course, customer service is there. We have 12 people on customer service because they have a lot of questions about, slowly introducing these incredible nutrients. Ginny, what did I leave out?
No, I think you said it all. And the only other thing I always like to remind people is that you can't force the body to become saturated. It's not like a gas tank or something. We want to fill ourselves up and top ourselves off, but really the body is going to utilize all of it, which is very exciting. And also when you start to use more, it makes it more available. But you're on the right track. Please don't get discouraged because that has happened many, many, many times. I think I used to get that question like every other day when I worked in customer service.
Right.
It's like my levels aren't going up and I don't know what to do. But actually, it's good because it's being used by the body. You're A-okay. And yeah.
And
So
yeah,
strong.
Deb's symptoms are probably improved. It's hard to kind of focus on them when you're worried about the laxative effect. And then the blood tests, the blood tests aren't going to go up until the body is getting saturated. And just a sidebar on psyllium seed powder, since I'm really just eating one meal a day or a meal and a snack, I do take psyllium seed powder in the morning to bulk my stool, because otherwise you don't have enough bulk to be, creating your good morning bowel movement. So think about that as well. If not necessarily for Deb, but just for people who aren't eating as much, the psyllium can be very helpful just for bulking the stool.
Yeah, I started to do that too, especially on keto. You just don't get a lot of fiber. So that's a good thing. Always helpful information. Thank you, Carolyn. All right, let's take a couple phone calls.
Okie doke.
All right, let's go to in order of appearance, area code 562. If you could hit *6 and bring yourself into the phone. Come on in. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, love.
Hi.
What's your first name, hon?
Nancy.
Okay, Nancy, fire away.
Okay, I just realized I think I've been doing something very wrong with the drops, and I'm not quite sure how to. I think I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not sure how to transition to it. I was taking the drops one time a week, and is it supposed to be daily and twice a day during all week?
Well, where you get that mixed up was, we tell people to start with 1 drop a day, and then every week add another drop.
Right, and I had a mind glitch and didn't pay attention.
No problem. No problem.
So I'm up to like 28 or 29 drops once a week.
Oh, I see.
So what do I do now? Something's got to change.
That's so funny. Oh gosh, Ginny, what will we do? Break it up through the week, the 20 drops, 7 days in a week, 4-7. Take 4 drops. I would do that. I would take 4 drops every morning now.
Okay, do I do it twice a day though? Because someplace it said something about twice a day.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your schedule. If it fits in, then you would take 2 drops in the morning, 2 drops in the evening.
But it's okay to just do 4 one time a day?
Correct. It is.
Okay.
It is.
Good.
Especially since you've passed the 29 drop point.
Right. Yes.
That's so funny.
I know, I'm very creative.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 drops a day, and then do I increase those by 1 drop once a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, at this point, because you were taking, a fair amount. That's like what's that, Ginny? A 1/4 teaspoon, I think. You're taking a fair amount. I mean, your body is not reacting to it in any negative way. So you could every couple of days you can add a drop, and then you'd stick with maybe 10 drops. That's where you go to twice a day. When you get to 10 drops in the morning, then you could start putting in some drops in the evening.
Okay.
And
how do you know if you need more, and what are you aiming for in the long run?
There you go. I was just going to say to Ginny, tell Nancy what she's looking for besides ascending.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing with the drops is they're definitely do mood alterations, but they also do unexpected things. So, it could be something that you have had for a while, and then all of a sudden you notice it goes away. You could have a change, a shift. We've had people have a change in their relationships, like forgiveness is a big thing, where they just all of a sudden realize that it's not that big of a deal, whatever they were so hung up about, and they can just let go or forgive somebody. We've seen people have like a big change in their energy around money. So it is energy medicine in a certain sense. I mean, we can't say that with the FDA because they don't believe in such a thing, but it is going to make a vibrational adjustment and attunement, whatever you want to use. And you are going to have a very good benefit in your mind related to your thought forms, your beliefs, and your moods. And something fun will pop up and you'll say, oh, I wonder if it was those drops. And that'll be the new thing that you'll notice. And then you'll call in and you'll say, you're never going to believe this.
Right. Okay, so when I get to 10 drops, maybe I just wait until I get to 10 drops and call and ask then.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, another question is the omega-3s. I started taking them, and I was taking 2 of them in the morning, and then I read it said take it 1 twice a day. So I shouldn't be taking them together?
I think you could take them together. It's an oil, so it's not going to run through like a water-based formula could. So your body's going to latch onto it. If it suits you to take them together, that's fine.
Okay, so whatever I want to do.
Yep. You get to,
vitamin
finally
D
get to. I was going to say, Nancy, you finally get to choose something. Right? That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Right. Now, didn't I read someplace that the vitamin D needs to have some oil with it? So, or did I?
Yeah, they do say that, and with the vitamin D, what did we do with that? Does the vitamin D have some RNA reset powder in it, Ginny? I'm forgetting.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Goodness gracious. Yes, absolutely.
Right. So we've got some of the RNA reset drops in powder form in the D to act as a catalyst to help it absorb, etc. But the fact you've already said you're taking the omegas, that's your oil. Right. And to me, that's quite enough. We've had people who've just been taking the omegas and the Ds and not worried about taking it with a fatty meal and all, and their levels are going up in their home test kit. Have you done the home test kit, Nancy?
The green
blood. Yeah, the blood test kit.
Yeah. Yes.
Good.
And I was I got it retested sort of kind of recently, but I was foggy and I haven't really sat down with it and looked at it strongly. My brain wasn't working.
Right.
It comes and goes.
It comes. Well, that's fine. Just drink some more sea salt water and hydrate your brain cells. That's usually, it's just dehydration. But yeah, call up customer service if you have questions about that. That's awesome. You're doing great.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. Excellent. We shall press on to area code 937, *6 your phone, and we'll put you on the line with Dr. Dean. Hello, welcome.
Hello, this is David Hosteller calling in.
Oh, hi, David. Thank you.
Hi, how
Thank
you
you.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
I of course am taking some of your products, and I've learned to really like the drink with the Remag, the Remite, and everything. And I've been hearing you saying about taking the Remag, the Remite, and then adding the other products in as time goes on. Well, I myself am in the maintenance mode. No, I don't have any certain problems I'm trying to solve. I'm just taking it because I know it's good for me. But I guess my question is, I find myself opening 3 or 4 bottles in the morning, to put into my water. What about a product that would have all those products all in one, to where I would be opening one bottle, and bingo, I'd have all my nutritional support that I need for the day.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That definitely crossed my mind, David, believe me. But what the quote problem could be that all those minerals may not mix well together, and they can, through interaction, molecular interaction, precipitate out some of them. Remite had to be very finely tuned so it wouldn't precipitate. When we made our calcium supplement, the Recalcia, I had boron in there and a couple of things, and it precipitated. We just couldn't, calcium wouldn't play well with any of the others. But here's what you can do, David. This is what I decided to do personally, is I'll take an empty Remag bottle, and I will measure in a measuring cup the number of ounces of each formula I take, and then make it for 6 or 7 days. And then in, each morning, just that one bottle, I'll put it's about 2.5 tablespoons to get all my formulas. And that leaves me, saving several minutes every morning. So that's what you can do. And I with the capsules, I kind of do a similar thing. I have cute little plastic baggies, tiny baggies, and I will line up my 5 bottles and put the capsules in each baggie, and then every morning, boom, I just take one bag, and it makes a big difference. It is nice to do that, but we can't put them all together. Like I said, can you imagine if things started precipitate? People would really be concerned.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, but
Just
good question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
That was it for me.
It's very nice of you to call in. I appreciate it. You take care.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Carolyn, I want to just touch base before we take our last call, area code 731. I just want to go over a comment that Harp is sending us. She's been on the Remag for quite a while. She said, I'm having trouble with my legs. They ache if I walk very far. I'm taking 2 teaspoons of Remag and 1 of Remite, as well as some of the other products. I've been on the formulas for 4 years. She said she feels that the pain is more stinging than stiffness. She said her magnesium was 32 on the grassroots health test. So that seems a little.
That's low. Yeah, it should be 42. So it seems low. I mean, it can be not enough magnesium, or the fact that she also needs potassium to make the magnesium work better. And I mean, both those options would be important. Harp, increase the Remag to 3, but maybe first take pico potassium up to 2 teaspoons. The more feedback we get about the potassium, the more we read about potassium, it seems to have all the same side of deficiency effects of magnesium. I'm just looking up potassium and leg pain, and we find a mineral deficiency can cause leg pain. Potassium is one of the minerals sometimes at fault. So that's where I'd look. And, look at the other products too. I don't know what else you're taking, but try that and keep in touch with us and let us know how it's going.
Okay, so she's taking potassium, 2 teaspoons with the Remag. And I misread her thing. It was 48 for the Remag, which is good, and 32 for the D, which is very low. So that's, yeah. Let me also just say, Harp, personally, that I used to have terrible pain in my bones in my legs. This went on for like 2 months. I couldn't figure out what it was, but when I got the zinc, it went away. Sometimes you just have to play with the formulas and get them into the right combination, because zinc is definitely, and also calcium. We don't talk very much about recalcia, but you know, calcium is very important for muscles as well. So how are you with your calcium intake? But again, these are all things that customer service can run over with you. We're here on the show. Dr. Dean loves to talk to everybody. But if you feel that you need that more in depth, you can send the list of the way you're taking the formulas to Melody Rose at questions, questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com. And she'll run it through with you and help you tweak and fiddle around with it until you get to the point where you've got that flexibility back.
Right. I mean, it's just balancing out the different nutrients. If you're on the potassium already, then you go to the extra remag, and like Ginny said, it could be zinc, it could be calcium, and it's not something that anyone really knows because they don't know you personally. And that's what we keep trying to say to people. You've got to, experiment. We are all a giant experiment, each one of us experimenting what works for us. And what we're doing with the formulas is just trying to cover everything and make it so that everything we use interconnects, and all the formulas are synergistic. They do all work together.
Yep. But we will help you get there and figure it out. 32 for your D score is low, sis. So I hope you're doing something about that. They say that men over the age of 60 should have a vitamin D score of 90. And women over the age of 60 should also have the same, because the reciprocal of that prostate cancer is breast cancer in women. So let's try to get that up, right, Carolyn?
Yes. I mean, I used to say that too much vitamin D is not good because it does drain the magnesium. But since working with Grassroots Health and reading all the research about vitamin D, we see that it is very protective of a lot of chronic disease. So it's just a matter of doing the proper amounts of vitamin D along with the proper amounts of magnesium. And, my story.
Carolyn, we lost you. Uh-oh. Where did Carolyn go? Hang in there, everybody. Carolyn was just chitty-chatting away. Well, I will tell you guys this while Carolyn's calling back into the show, because I'm sure her executive producer, Bob, has told her that she dropped off and he's having her call in. I will say this. Our wonderful producer, Rachel, has now turned into not only just our radio show producer, but a social media guru. She is posting the show on her own personal page on Facebook. And one of our great listeners chatted in with her to share her testimonial and say that her muscle cramps have gone away since she started using Remag for her own benefit. So thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everybody, for posting and sharing this on social media, because that's another way the word gets out, is to let people know. So if you post or share and somebody does give you a great comment or a thumbs up, let our customer service team know, or just tell us on the radio show. And it's fun to help people and support them in their journey. So I am waiting for, there she is. There's the boss lady, as Rachel calls her. Hello, boss lady. Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay, very good.
I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I won't tell you what I did. Well, do you want me to tell you what I did?
Sure.
We do this on our computers through whatever Zoom. And I was waxing poetic about vitamin D and magnesium and my levels and on and on. And I wanted to look outside, so I shut the lid on my laptop. I shut the lid on my laptop, and I was going on. Then finally, Bob came down and said, "You've been off the air for a minute." So anyway,
that's funny.
I know.
Very good.
Yeah, Nancy, you think you've got problems.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Forgetting things. Okay. So anyway, I think we said enough to harp about the vitamin D, right?
Yes, I think we did. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to area code, I believe 718 is next. Area code 718.
You said 731. Did we get 731?
We did. I believe so.
Okay.
Hello, area code 718.
Hello, Ginny. It's Alan from New York.
Alan!
Hello, Dr. Dean.
Hello,
I just want
Alan.
to tell you, my laptop, I have it programmed that when you shut the lid, it doesn't go to sleep. You can do that.
Oh, okay. I will do that. Oh, man, that was so bad. But anyway.
Two quick questions. One, you mentioned earlier in the program that you can't really pre-mix the minerals, but just saying it's good for like up to 7 days, you can?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Number two, I a couple of weeks ago I had a little surgery, nothing serious, but I just want to know what I should up, as a result of.
Did you have a general anesthetic or just a local?
Oh, wait a minute. Alan got muted by me accidentally. Go, what a comedy of errors tonight. Alan, hit your star. There you go. Okay. Very good.
I did unfortunately have general anesthetic. I woke up, I felt like I was reborn.
Oh, well. Yeah, so with that, I mean, we don't know. I don't know if you could find out at this stage if you had a fluoride general anesthetic, but that can...
Well, let's say I did in the worst case scenario. What would I do for that?
Yeah, that's extra remag that is required to pull out the fluoride. And then extra realign to detoxify. Those
I did up the realign. I knew that was important. Thank you. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the remag, how much are you taking now, Alan?
Well, I normally take a teaspoon and a half. I'm trying to get closer to 2 right now. You think I need more than that?
Well, you got to watch out that you don't get the laxative effect, but definitely 2, and put it in your sea salted water and sip it through the day with your other minerals. But
absolutely, along with the psyllium husks. That is absolutely the greatest thing in the world ever invented were psyllium husks, because they gave me some narcotics for the pain, and that absolutely shut down my whole digestive system.
Right. Wow.
And the only thing that works is the psyllium husks. That's the only way to restart it.
Right. Yeah, they do this polyethylene glycol type, plastic that they give people now for constipation. Miralax. They've probably tried to give you Miralax. Do you recall
No,
that?
I didn't go near it. I know they gave me some propofol probably also amongst the other anesthetics.
Right.
Yeah, that's great stuff. I mean, if you want to get a good rest. But.
Addicted, if you. So, do you have a wound that you're healing?
No, actually, I had a stent put in to get rid of a kidney stone. So there's no wound per se.
Okay, you're talking kidney stones then, Alan. You might need 2.5, 3 teaspoons of remag. And
does that help get rid of kidney stones?
Yeah. Have you?
That's it. I wish I would have.
Have you been listening to me?
I certainly have, and I've been on the. I'm not sure. I suspect my kidney stone's made out of uric acid. So that I don't know if does that work with magnesium also.
It does. It does.
Well, I'll up it, and I'll keep it up as long as I can withstand it. I'll take as much as I can.
Yeah.
I can take.
Yeah, that's good. And yes, I would also be taking some Pico Silver, because when they go poking things in you.
I have. Even though I haven't ordered it for a while, because when you had that sale, I think I bought out half the stock. So
good for you. Good.
Yeah, I love the Pico Silver. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, people just go on about, they have a tooth pulled or something, and their dentists all say, "I can't believe you healed so fast." So we know it's the best wound healer, and it does a lot of other things too.
No, it's been working great, and since I've been on the Remag, I haven't had leg cramps for at least a year. It's wonderful.
Right, and Pico Zinc. I mean, that is a wound healer as well. But if you're taking some Remite, you are getting some Pico Zinc in the Remite.
So I take a teaspoon and a half of Remite a day, and I take a quarter of a teaspoon of the Pico Zinc, unless I feel a cold coming on. Then I up it to a higher amount.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. See, you have been listening. Very good.
I have, and I read the book from cover to cover twice.
Oh, good for you. But yeah, go back and look at the section on kidney stones. Just so and look up uric acid as well. I do talk a little bit about uric acid.
Well, if it comes out the stone and I'll have it analyzed, I'll tell you what it was.
Okay. All right. Can't wait.
Neither can I. Thank you very much, Dr. Dean.
Oh, thank you, Alan. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that's fun. Very fun. Very fun. Very sweet people. We love our customers. We love our radio show audience. It's such great times.
I know. You wouldn't think there was any travail in the world at all with the people who we're in touch with. And, Ginny says the same about all her people in the warehouse and the customer service. Everybody is just so happy and healthy. That's what we wish for everyone.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. All right. So Harp said she's going to do the zinc. She's going to call and talk to Melody Rose or email her. So that's perfect. Yeah. Melody Rose is a wealth of information. So thank you so much for doing that. And we've just got a couple minutes to the close of the show. Carolyn, anything else? You missed Rachel's testimonial. Rachel, poor Deborah at the radio station's going to get upset. We've absconded with Rachel. She's starting to post all of the radio show information on her personal Facebook page, and people are sharing their testimonials there.
She's a goer, that one. She is a goer. I mean, what was she telling us about? She moved to the ocean so she could, what was it, paddleboarding she's doing out there?
Yes, she's out there with everything. Yeah, and she rides a motorcycle, paddleboards. Yes. Now she's doing social media. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We've got some amazing people around us that we really appreciate. So let's just appreciate everybody for the next minute before we have to go.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. We didn't have a show last week, and we missed it. It's and maybe people missed us as well. It is very important to communicate. And social media is great, but there is something about the audio. We can really read a person when we hear their voice, I think.
Yeah.
And I know people say they'd like us to do a video, but I think you get distracted with video. I know Ginny and I, when we're doing the show, we're looking up notes. Ginny's all over the place, trying to keep tabs on people on the chat line on YouTube and host the show, for Pete's sake. So I don't know that we'd ever do video. I do some podcasts here and there, and we'll keep people posted on that if you want to see my mug. But I think the audio is great. I really enjoy this show.
Yeah. We love you all. Thank you, Bob, for being there and getting Carolyn back on the air with us. And we will talk to you next week. And thank you, Rachel and Deborah, as always. Thanks, everybody. We will talk. Yes, we will be here on Memorial Day. So
yes.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Okay, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Bye,
Thank
guys.
You. Aloha.
Aloha.
listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment.